Baby, let me tell you, honey, these ladies' family and friends did not come to play any games. They are asking the questions that we want to know, but sometimes are too afraid to ask because, you know, maybe he won't like me. Maybe it seems too forward. Maybe it's too soon. The family said, the friends said, I'ma ask though, because I want to know, because I don't want you hurt. Like, yo, okay? What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. I am your girl Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach. We are reviewing Ready to Love, season number 3, episode number 6, Family Matters. Listen, take a page from my girl Miss Gigi88, okay? She said, I done been here 3 times. I done watched 3 of your videos, so I'm subscribing. Now, most of y'all done been here several times, watching and, you know, listening and giggling with me. What is you waiting on? If you done been here more than once, I'm gonna say, go on and click the red subscribe button to become a Ray of Sunshine. Right next to that is that notification bell. You'll be alerted of when I upload videos, especially when you hit all. And you won't miss one. Okay, so when we open up, we see Brian and Alex walking together, and she got on them little cute little raggedy jeans. I want some, but have not found any that would fit the curves correctly. Nevertheless, she kind of preps Alex that her friend Tanisha is coming and she's gonna ask all the hard questions. So kind of get ready for that, okay? Then we switch over and we see Simone and Jay having a conversation, you know, and it's about what happened 2 weeks ago when she kind of confronted Jay about the situation with Winter going in the room with his shirt off like it was some of her business, you know, and she was honest, like, I was in my feelings, a little insecure, I got a little maturing to do. I'm glad that he had the conversation with her. He said, I accept your apology, but he was like, you know what, I got to move on for my peace, for my own sanity. Like, so you just gonna X her out because you feel like she's too much. Sometimes the problem is we don't allow people to redeem themselves, especially when we're open or when they're open and vulnerable. It's better that we allow them, especially when they come and they say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. But some of y'all is like, well, Simone just got caught and called out and she don't really care. But I really feel like she does, and she felt a certain way, and I really feel like she shouldn't be penalized for it yet. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think down below in the comments. Am I off on that? She should be penalized. He should just leave her alone because that was too much. Because if you think about it honestly, ladies, I think about having conversations as a wife coach. I think about how some of the ladies are like, well, he's dating somebody else and blase, and I'm going to tell him, hold on. You should be dating somebody else too. So like there's some levels and some layers that we have to pull back because we all have some insecurities that we have not processed yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. I'm afraid this is gonna be long because I got a lot of shit to say, okay? We see Naya's cousin Kiki comes to visit, right? That's her person. That's her. He gonna get them straight. We also at the same time see Brian and Alex and Tanisha show up. So what I'm gonna do now is just go through the whole scenario of Brian, Alex, and Tanisha, and then we're gonna come back, okay? And we're gonna deal with Naya and Chris and her cousin Kiki. So they're sitting on the bench and they're having a conversation. You know, he was like, I guess the fellas didn't know. They're all kind of blindsided for the most part, except for 2 of the men. Were blindsided like, well, damn, I didn't know. Or 3 of the men, including Brian. So when he walks up, you know, he greets her. He has a seat to sit down and they start to converse. She asks about his daughter, you know, and the relationship with the daughter. And he's all like, I love my daughter. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I feel like when I run into a woman who makes me feel like my daughter does, it's time to take a knee. I wrote down, this dude is such a smooth talker. It's like he says the things that we want to hear. Because you saw Tiffany ate that shit up. I got to think about men who have like nothing but girls. But I feel like men have girls so that they understand how to treat women or recognize what has been done, what they've done to other women, and how, you know, how if someone did that to their child, their daughter, their princess, right? That how they would react. And so a lot of times I feel like that's why some men have daughters. It gives you a different perspective. So there's some likelihood, but he's still just, to me, somebody that says the things that you want to hear. Tanisha asked Brian about his relationship with his daughter's mother and how their relationship goes. And he said, well, you know, we co-parent, but it's tough co-parenting. No, it's not tough co-parenting when neither party has like feelings for one another, when it's just about the child. So for me, I feel like the reason that it's tough co-parenting for him is because she probably feels away. The baby's only 3. It's really a thing that has to be considered. That's how come sometimes dudes be like, oh, I can always hit with my baby mama, because they feel like their baby mama is always available and is open and, you know, has some type of emotional tie to them. I'm here to tell you fellas, it don't work like that, okay? Once we heal and we really move on, we good. She asked him if he's ever cheated before. And instead of having a flat out yes and coming out with accountability, he does that shit that he does where he talks in circles and says, you know, I wasn't in the best place or whatever the bullshit that he says, which is not him being a mature adult and holding himself accountable for the shit that he's done. So they depart and they leave, right? Honey and Tanisha got her friend all the way together. Like, he's nice and everything, but I feel like you're giving me vibes like you're not sure about him. It's like it's a little forced, and I don't want you to force it. Like you have a wall up, like you're guarded. And I was like, your friends know better than anybody. I just had a conversation with my girlfriend, like, you don't like him, so what's the problem? You don't even like him. Like, why you mad? You don't like him. You was just doing something because you was bored. Like, that's not her thing, but your friends, they know you better than anyone else, right? So, you know, she's like, looking like maybe. And I think too, prior to the Alicia situation, she might have been opening up a little bit more, you know. But then that Alicia shit happened, and she was like, in her confessional, not my words, hers, you know, he could probably do it to me too. And so that could make you like, wall up, I don't trust you. You just a fuck boy. Okay, so let's talk about this. Because, I mean, they gave us Kris and Naya early on. I was like, well, damn, throw it all at us now. But I understand why. So Kiki comes, which is her cousin and her best friend. Y'all know that favorite cousin you got? Like, I'm people's favorite cousins. I'm probably the one that people would call to come in for that kind of thing, because I'm gonna ask all the good questions. I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna tell you like, yo, what's up? Why is you talking in circles? What is this fiddle faddle we doing? Anyway, so she gets there. She's happy to see Kris. You see it all on her face. You see the excitement, and just her being able to introduce somebody she's interested in to her cousin, right? And hoping, it looks to me like she's hoping for a good time, good turnout. So they're at the big chess pieces where you play chess, right? In Chris's confessional, you could tell he was all in. He said, you know, I'm nervous to meet her cousin or whatever. Like, I can't stop thinking of Naya. Naya has gotten into my brain. Like, that's when you know that somebody digs you, because they tell you, like, all I do is think about you. Like, and I got to figure out how to separate the two. Like, that's where he is. Like, I'm like, I've taken over a few people's minds, and they be like, I can't deal with you because all I think about is you. And I don't think that's healthy. It's not. Anyway, when they were talking, she asked like about, how are you with family? You know, I'm close to my family, my little brother, blah, blah, blah. How are you with your faith? Like, do you believe in God? Blah, blah, blah. Honey, we find out that Kris is an ordained deacon. So here, Naya say, we playing games. You playing games. We could have been married a long time ago. You could have married us. Well, he couldn't have married y'all. You know what I'm saying? He could marry someone else, but he couldn't marry y'all. Like, she was... let's hold that thought, because when I go over this in my mind, Naya pissed me off. Hold on, let's keep going. This is where shit gets a little shaky, okay? Kiki asked Kris, what are your thoughts about finances? Okay? Kris starts out strong. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, which is correct. You would need to have a conversation about how finances are going to work in your household if you feel like you're going to be moving in the togetherness direction, right? Then he hit her with, we're going to split the mortgage. I pay the water and the cable. She'll probably pay like the internet, or he going to pay the internet too, and she'll probably pay the insurances. It's about being partners. here's where it gets worse. You know, it's about me falling back and letting her lead, kind of is what he was saying. Letting her direct the traffic and letting her handle all the business. I know my place. Well, what is your place? Like, them is like follow-up questions. She could have provided a whole lot more clarity than this. He was like, I know she makes more money than me, and so that's a thing. And she was like, you don't know that you make more money than me. He was like, well, as we know that that being in radio makes no money. And, you know, Naya has been saying it since day one that she really, you know, has had a hard time carrying all the miscarriages, and so she wants to make sure that things will be secure and there's some stability, because she's not going to want to work during her pregnancy. And I can understand that, especially if you really want a baby. You have to really probably take it easy and be on bed rest, and depending on the type of job you have, the stress that comes with it. So that's the thing, and I forget what Naya does. If somebody knows, let me know down below in the comments. The cousin follows up with, what are the things you look forward to? Oh no, it wasn't the cousin, excuse me. Naya follows up with, what are the things that you look forward to or being or giving to your wife and the household? Like, what the fuck are you gonna contribute, pretty much? What are you bringing to the table is what she's asking. Like, and in all fairness, this is a hot seat. This is a hot seat. So he said, I'm going to fill in and step up where I need to. Meaning, she's going to have all the togetherness, and if something is missing, I'm going to step in. Where if you're traditional, which Naya is, it's vice versa. And that's what she said. Do you think, like, as the lead, as the head of household, you should be filling in? Or possibly shouldn't you have everything together and the woman fills in, you know, those necessary blocks and holes? Like, that would be a question that I would have. Like, honestly, I am a traditional hierarchy, right? I believe in God, man, woman, children. Traditional hierarchy, but also there's like a remix. Like, there's a partnership, and ain't nobody running shit. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe he provides and protects. And I'm here to support and uplift. And of course, it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, you gotta pay all the stuff and I'm making all this money over here. No, that's not how it works. But I understood where she was coming from. Hold on, let's keep going. When he started talking about it being a partnership, you can instantly see Naya's energy change. He felt the energy change. You saw it on her face and the way she interacted with him, where originally she was excited to be around. He then said, well, I know that you guys, you know, want to talk or whatever, so I'm going to exit. And if it wasn't chopped up and he exited right after that conversation, he did himself a disservice. Because hearing how she felt and thinking about the things, he should have stayed a little while and tried to provide some clarity. Like I said, this is a hard position to be in. It is a very much hot topic, hot seat. And if you have not had like glimpses into what type of person Naya is, then it would be hard. However, we can see that Naya is traditional. She's been saying it. You saw she was traditional when she made Edwin's plate for breakfast that time. She has all the makings of a traditional household structure. I honestly think that he also would have done better and been like, you know, it's something that we have to figure out together. Right? What works best for our household. Some households work fine traditionally. Other households are non-traditional and do split everything down the middle. Now, I think that it's still a split if he said, I'm going to take care of the mortgage. Because when you take care of the mortgage, automatically the woman comes up and she takes care of the utilities and the groceries. And when you think about that shit, it's actually just as much or sometimes more than you just covering the mortgage. Let's just keep it a band. The fact of the matter is, the amount that she puts out, just like covering the daily things, could equate to exactly what you're covering in the mortgage. Y'all, let me know what you think about that. So even if you're not saying it's a split and you're saying I'm covering the mortgage, it's still a split. She's still coming out of her pocket. Hello, I don't know. Y'all, let me know if I'm off about this down below in the comments. She said, I said all of that before I said, she said, we don't split the mortgage here. And so the cousin was like, you make your own money. Or you make your, yeah, the cousin said, you make your own money. And you might be moving too fast. Naya, slow down. Like she knows her cousin and knows that maybe this is too much too soon. And maybe this is something that you could have a conversation about. Maybe this is something that could be negotiated. Like, she might have jumped the gun. Y'all, I really want to know what you think about that. Like, did she nix him too fast? Because right then, like he said, the energy changed. We felt it on the screen. We see Edwin and Winter, a little bit of interaction between them doing the beanbag toss. I think that's what it's called, throw. I'm not sure. And they talked about like vacations and, you know, it was a little intimate, a little sexy. I do like the way they look together. I don't think that they have that chemistry that you normally have yet. I think that they are playful right now. I think that it's interesting right now, but I don't think that they're there yet. Not that they can't be, but that they're not quite. I said that, but that's why I keep saying it. So we see Kris, Simone, and Joy having a conversation. They're like, oh, you had a date with, you know, Naya, how did it go? And he was like, yeah, her cousin was there and I think I might have fucked up. He was like, honestly, after he explained the situation, he was like, I should have said that I would be taking care of the mortgage. And that's really what she wanted to hear, that he would be taking care of the mortgage. And Joy, you know, she's brilliant in her mind and the way she thinks is very logical. That's the Capricorn in her. Isn't she a Capricorn? She said you needed to set some expectations ahead of time. Like, what are your expectations? That's what would have been a perfect question. Like when they asked about finances, he could have looked at Naya and said, well, what are your expectations? What is it that you would like? And then that way he would know where to go, because he could have said, because it's important that that's the conversation that we have, set the expectations so that both of us are clear on what direction that we're going to go. And that is for every damn thing in the relationship. Joy went on to say, like, if a woman can stay home and take care of the kids, so can a man. Absolutely, if that is how your household works. And she said, you know, it would be nice to not have that stress, to come home and he's cleaned and cooked and taking care of the kids. That is the thought of women who have powerful, high stress jobs. Like, if you see women who are, you know, a little older and have not had children, sort of like Naya, I guarantee you she's higher up on the ladder. The reason she keeps having those miscarriages is because her job is very much so demanding. And when you don't have the children early on and you wait till later, like, it's a whole lot. But I guarantee you that's also the position Joy has at her job. I cannot remember what these ladies do. So there's that. But listen, y'all know I was married. Y'all know I'm a widow. I resented my husband for not stepping up and being a provider. And I ended up providing for our household. When he got sick, he took on the role of making sure dinner was made, and our youngest son was well taken care of. You know, he couldn't do much cleaning, but he did start to assist more versus when he was healthy. And like, y'all go listen. It's a story for another time. Actually, the story is already up on my channel. It's a little 3-part series and you'll hear my evolution, right? So Simone asked, if you could do it over, what would you do differently? And he said, I would say I would take care of the mortgage and you would take, and it was like, what are your expectations from a man with finances? Fellas, that is probably the best thing you could ask. What are your expectations from a man with finances? So then we have a brunch date. And on this brunch date, you have Joy and Winter, Edwin and Jay. And as we know, Joy likes Edwin and Jay. Winter likes Edwin and Jay. And these fellas like both of the ladies, okay? So it was optimal, like, to be able to have all of them sitting there. But it could also be a little awkward and unnerving. It could be a little uncomfortable, but fortunately both of these women have exhibited a level of maturity and class thus far that puts them in a place that they can actually handle this. Because it could not have happened if Denise was there. It would have been hella uncomfortable if this was Simone, like from what we see. And I really want y'all to take that into consideration when you look at who's at the table, right? Including the men. They have been very much so gentlemanly, very mature, able to have a serious conversation, you know, and express themselves. So all of that is important when you think about this double date, double questioning, because of the family that came, Lydia is Joy's friend and Felicia is Winter's friend. And when you see them walk in, you see Jay and Joy locked arm, and you see Winter and Edwin locked on arms. And honestly, that's probably the way that it would go, because we already know what we know about Jay, that he favors Joy. Like I said that last week, and we see it to be true here. I'm getting beside myself. Lydia comes in first, and then Felicia comes in next. Jay is, let me help you, you know, because it's a little step, blah, 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 you know, like he's trying to go the extra mile to impress Joy's friend, because Felicia isn't there yet. First question out of Lydia's mouth is she needed clarity of what the situation was. Like, so y'all all like each other except for him and him? Like, and everybody was like, yeah, because I just went over the dynamic a minute ago. That's why I'm not repeating it. But that was her question. And they was like, yeah. And it was like, oh, okay. Felicia wasted no time. And I think this was an appropriate question. She said, well, you like both of them, Jay. What is it that Joy has that Winter does not? Meaning you like both of them. What are the things that are missing, right? But I honestly wish Felicia would have said, what is it that Winter has that Joy does not? Because Winter is her friend, right? That way it puts it on him to, you know, talk up Winter versus talking up Joy. Does that make sense? However, he was clever in his answer by saying these are two different women and they are both amazing, which is the perfect answer, because nigga, don't be comparing me to nobody else. I stand on my own 2 feet. Like, I'm my own kind of beauty. You know what I'm saying? I'm strong and independent and brilliant on my own. Like, I don't want to be compared to her. Like, for real. And I respect that answer, and it was the best route for him to go, and that way he was not in the hot seat, okay? Like, what? Listen, we might like both be cute and petite and everything. We both might be stylish, but understand we come with different sauce. She got sauce, I got sauce. Mine might be a little more fiery. Hers might be a little more sweet. I don't know. But baby, my sauce is mine, okay? It is mine. Sweet, saucy. Sometimes it could be a little salty, okay? Sometimes it could be too sugary, but understand it is mine and mine alone. You heard? Okay. I'm off that soapbox. He also said you can tell that they both have, you know, you can tell they both have good energy. I mean, you know Winter already, but you walked in and you felt Joy's energy automatically. Who said she did? You feel her energy automatically because you tend to favor her. I didn't feel that shit. You know, she was nice. She was pleasant and respectful, but don't be talking about what I felt about her energy, even though she does seem to have great energy. Like, she does seem to have very open and respectful energy. Let me say that, because we know she got a little messy to her, but very much so respectful, very much so open, very much so friendly and confident about who she is. Those are the energies I get from Joy. So Lydia was like, oh, hold up. I got a follow-up question. Who is your top pick between the two ladies? And I thought, well, damn, why would you do that? Like, literally I wrote down, well, damn, why would you do that? Why would you want to make one person feel less than the other? And he can't really have a diplomatic answer, but he can, which could have been, I like them for different reasons. I cannot say I like one over the other because of this or that, but I like them for their particular qualities that they have. Like, fellas need to really be thinking, Like thinking. Like use your third eye. Like listen with your heart and your emotions. Like come on. That way you wouldn't have been in the hot seat or made anybody feel a specific kind of way when you was like, you know, what was it? He said something about I met Joy first and then I met Winter and her energy is palatable. Child, y'all know the word, okay? But I felt like he was like, so Joy would be my top pick of the two. I don't want to sit at the table and hear that. And Winter said that. Like, that was hard to swallow. Like, I don't want to hear that I'm second or runner up. Like, I'm second to none, meaning I'm number one all the time. Nobody wants to hear that. And it made her feel a certain way. Not that her and Joy were against one another, but to hear somebody else say, I choose her over you, it's uncomfortable. And I like that Winter said it made me feel a little uneasy. Like, that's not what I want to hear. I just have to be honest. I love Winter, and this is why. Like, she has no problem saying this made me feel uneasy, and this is why. Because if we keep it 100, most of y'all would have been like, oh, I don't care. It don't matter that I'm number two because I'm all of this and I'm all of that. And it's his loss and blase, blase. And all of that shit might be true. But deep down inside, you feeling like, damn, nigga, did you have to say that? Like, I'm uncomfortable about it. Like, why would you do that? Like, let's keep it a band. Most of us would not be able to say it made me uncomfortable. We would have did an Alicia. Okay, I'm the shit. And upplayed whatever our shallow shit was. Like I'm beautiful and I got straight teeth. Whatever your thing is. I always feel like, and I always tell my clients, you have to feel the emotion. In order to process it and move forward, you have to fully feel whatever that shit is and feel it. Give yourself some time to feel it and process it. Figure out, well, why am I feeling uneasy? And for probably Winter in this moment, I'm not sure, I can't speak for her, but it was probably because like I liked him and he's now made me second best. It's not that I'm jealous, it's just that that's not the position that I wanted. And so now that she can process it, homegirl could be like, okay, I need to focus my energy somewhere else, right? So that's my tip to y'all today. Free wife coach tip. Process whatever the emotion is. If it's you're upset, if you're heartbroken, if you're jealous, if you're envious, if you're sad, whatever it is, feel that feeling. Allow yourself some time to feel the feeling and then you can process it. Maybe do some journal entries. Maybe start talking to a friend. Maybe start doing an I am exercise. And I'm sure y'all don't know what that is because y'all ain't booked no discovery call. That's neither here nor there. So, okay. They ask why you want a relationship or why you want to be married, and Edwin says for his support system. So I don't know if it was Lydia or Felicia that asked, well, what does your support system look like now? And he was like, oh, it's my sisters and my mother. Now, if you know, like I know, sisters are hard. Sisters are actually harder than moms. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sister, and so I'm looking at you like, is you good enough for my brother? What you want with my brother? Like, that's how I do. That's how I feel when I think about sisters. And it's a lot of female support, which means if I'm supporting him a lot of times with that kind of energy, nobody's ever good enough for that man. Nobody's ever good enough. So as the fellas leave, Jay and Joy embrace, and her elbow accidentally wastes the drink on her. And I mean, he gets to wiping off, honey, all on the cute little dress she had on, but he gets to touch her in like almost an intimate space. So then we see Edwin and Naya, and they have a little date, sit down and have a champagne date. Naya feels it necessary to have this conversation with Edwin that she just had with Chris because she needs to know where he stands. And I'm all like, Naya, why? Oh, girl. Naya, why? Like, why? Like, I understand why. I can't even ask her why because I really understand why, and because she really, actually, this just showed us that she digs Edwin and really didn't like Chris. Hold on, I'm getting beside myself. So she poses the same question about finances or financial about finances and stability, about financial stability. And Edwin gave her the answer that she wanted, which was he wants to make sure that everything is taken care of financially, that is his responsibility. That there should be multiple streams of income so that they can be secure about their finances. He also said that you have to be sure that the man is in a place that he is able to do that. So you could get a man who wants to be financially stable and to provide the overarching umbrella for your household, but financially he isn't available. And honestly, that's probably where Chris is, because he mentioned that having his radio job didn't pay a lot of money. How much do they make, y'all? Anybody know? Let me know down below in the comments. And it kind of opened up something for me. Like, that's so true. And I was hoping that that was like an epiphany for her, but it was not. So Naya says to him, well, what do I need to do to cater to you? If you know you're taking care of all of this, what do I need to do to take care to cater to you? He said it's really about self-care. Like, I need self-care. And she gets to rubbing on his neck and massaging his head, and you know he likes that. Honey, y'all know that feel good. Honey, and what did it for me was, honey, Naya went in for a kiss. It was unsolicited, okay? To me, I was like, well, damn, y'all only talked twice from what we see. And it could have been more conversations between the two of them. But she went in and she kissed him. He said it was unexpected, that he was not expecting it. But as you can see, the kiss that she gave to Edwin was a lot more sensual, had a little more passion in it than the one that she had given to Chris, which kind of tells you how she felt about Chris. However, all of her other actions said that she thought really highly of Chris. I got some stuff and I just gotta hold off because it's said later, okay? So now we see quick little snippet of Calfani and Denise, and like I said last time, she's entirely different with him. You know, she saw she was playful, smelling his neck. Baby, let me tell you something. I'm a smeller. I will smell you too. Like, that is my go-to. I love a man that smells good. I will put my face in your neck so that I can smell you. You hear me? Like, I love it. So you see Chris and Naya sitting together across from one another, and he's happy that he has the opportunity to talk to her again because he wants to shed some light. He wants to provide some clarity. Like, he does not want to lose the opportunity with her. And my heart goes out to him because she was not giving a fuck about nothing he was saying. He could not redeem himself. He was like, I understand. Nobody wants to, you know, be splitting a mortgage like we roommates. I would take care of the entire mortgage. All I wrote down was Naya just flipped the script on Chris. She's into Edwin so quickly. But did she really like Chris? That's what I wrote. Or did she just like the fact that he was ready to be married and ready to have a family? You know what I'm saying? And at the time was the only one giving her the time of day because that bob that she had made her look weird, right? So now that her hair is cut, you know, people could see that she's more attractive than what was originally. But I really am like, could you have possibly liked him the way you flipped so quickly? Did you waste his time the way you flipped so quickly? So then we see Adriana and her friend Morgan. Now, Rashid didn't seem to know anything about these dates, right? So Rashid walks up and he's a little like taken aback. He sees it. At the same time, we see Denise. Denise's friend Terry, who's like a sister, meets Calfani and Anthony, both of the men that she likes. So we're gonna go through Adriana's date first. Morgan asks about, you know, you have a son, do you want more children? He was like, yes, I want more. She wanted 3 boys, but she's like, and I gotta give him his girl. So now we talking like we're gonna have a total of 5 kids. That includes, of course, his son, which I'm glad that he made sure to make it known that my child is part of that tribe too, the collective, okay? He asked, you know, because he had been married previously, and so she asked what happened to that marriage, and he said there should have been more communication. And I've learned from that. And now what I'm looking for is a partner that I can share everything with beyond the attraction. Because yes, you know, initially you're attracted to them, but I want to be able to grow with you. And as we get older, you know, you might not be as tight-skinned and youthful looking as you are now, but baby, we know black don't crack, okay? When he leaves and they have a conversation, Morgan really likes Rashid and thinks that he's good for her. She brings up like Kalfani, and when she talks about Kalfani, she was like, you know, Rashid is my type, Kalfani's different. He's, you know, tall, he's dark-skinned, he's, you know, fit or whatever, and just chocolate and all these like physical attributes she's sharing. And her friend called her out for lusting. Like, okay, so you mentioned him, you didn't say anything about how you connect on a emotional or mental or spiritual level. Everything that you said was physical. Like, yo, she's lusting after him. Where Rashid actually likes her, where I feel like she might actually like him. Y'all said it though. Y'all said it when she did that whole, was that last episode when she did that whole love language shit and didn't know what love languages were and hers was, and was trying to get deep but really is shallow, because all she do shallow and all she does is look at him and lust after him. Yeah, y'all called it. Y'all called it. Leave Denise's man alone, because you don't really want him. You just want to, honey, you just want his goodies, okay? You just want to be yelling, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. That's all you want, Adriana. And listen, sometimes that's okay, but we supposed to be ready to love, okay? And if that's what you want, then that's what you want. But you shouldn't have got here on the show and mess it up for somebody else. I said what I said. So both Anthony and Kalfani were taken aback to see one another, because Denise had asked them out on a date, not knowing that they were meeting her friend Terry, okay? And Terry came with the questions, okay? First question out the gate was to Anthony, have you ever cheated? Anthony said, yes, I have, but that was a different part of me in a different lifetime when I was pursuing being a football player and I wasn't ready, and now I'm ready. Like, a man that can hold his own and be accountable for his shit is very important to me. So she asked both of the men, what type of husband will you be? Both of them gave great answers. You know, that I'm going to be a provider, that it's going to be a partnership. Anthony was like, I'm a provider, but, you know, I believe in, you know, being a provider and protector of the house. No, he didn't say protector, it was the other one. But it's going to be more of a partnership. What we converse, had a household partnerships. But Kalfani added a few things. He said, same gist though, provide, protect, be the head of household. You know, I don't know, he said God, but I think he meant fear God, be a prayer warrior. I just was really happy about the answer that he had provided. Both of them, for that matter, I was moved, and either of them choices would have been great for her. Then you see Terry asks, so what do you want to leave as your legacy? And when Kalfani said break generational curses, because he came from the mud and, you know, he doesn't want that for his family, etc., that put him over Anthony by just a bit. And Denise said, I love him. I thought, ooh, Adriana better leave that man alone, because Denise looked like she will fight you for him. When it was over, the friend preferred Kalfani. It was something about the energy, and she was like, we connect, we have chemistry, spiritually, we are connected, and I prefer him. Like, he's it for me. But I really thought her and Anthony were great. Anthony brought out a playful side of her. Anthony is the one that kind of put her back on the map with us, because she showed a more gentler, softer side with someone other than Kalfani. So now it's elimination day, and they're back up in the lounge, Tommy's Tavern. And I wrote down, because they show us Simone. Simone goes next, if we're not careful, but that might change. She says that, you know, her friend didn't show, that her newborn baby had to be rushed to the hospital. Please keep my friend in prayer. And then I thought to myself, I'm sorry that, you know, I'm hoping that the baby is doing well, but I thought, based on the conversation with Simone and Jay earlier, she wouldn't have had anybody for them to meet. Like, we haven't seen her intermingle mingle with someone other than Jay. So, but we see next episode some things change, right? Winter said her friend was not impressed with either man, because if you remember, we didn't get the follow-up during their brunch, right? We didn't get the follow-up, so this is the first time that we're hearing this. She said that Edwin has issues with family and boundaries, that they might be in the way, you know, sisters and mama and shit, and that Jay was a little salesy. Joy actually comes in and agrees that her friend said that he's got great showmanship. Great showmanship, right? That's saying, I'm doing all this extra stuff to prove to you that this is who I am. Like I'm on a world tour with the mic in my hand, right? Like that's exactly how they were feeling about Jay. She didn't say anything about Edwin, what her friend said about Edwin. Adriana said that her friend said yes to Rashid. So then he gets to Naya. And Tommy says, the last time we talked, you were gung-ho about Kris. When that girl said, I ain't never been gung-ho about nobody, I said, the lies you fucking tell. Because, baby, you was all in. As a matter of fact, you was all in until he started talking about that mortgage. You was all in. During the damn date with your cousin, you were all in. Like when he said he wasn't an ordained deacon, if he had just said that he would take care of everything and provide for you, you would have went with him, and it would not have been a chance for Edwin. You were all in, even if you had that grandma kiss, because he was giving you and saying the things that you liked. As long as he was saying what you liked and catering to you, you liked him. Because he was going in the same direction as you were. But now that he isn't, he ain't even on your radar. Girl, you full of shit. Like, I was so disappointed. And I think the more disappointment was the delivery of it. So you're entitled to change your mind. That's okay. But it was the delivery. It was nasty, as if I ain't never liked him and I was just entertaining him because he liked me. Her words, not mine. Like, I just thought the delivery is nasty. I wrote, I was shocked, and so was the whole room. And if you took a glance at Joy, you could see that she was a little uncomfortable about the way she was referring or speaking of her friend Kris, who she's known for forever. When she was speaking about him, she said, well, I didn't like that he said he was going to fill in where I needed, because I'm whole already. I don't need no filling in. And then Simone was trying to come to his defense by saying, I don't think that Kris, well, this is how it happened. I'm talking about what happened and what was said when it was said. Like, that's pretty much what she said. She didn't say all them words. Then you had cute little Alex over there talking about, you know, I like Kris, but more like a brother. I don't see him that way, and something. She was like, talk about you. Don't put me in what you're talking about. I was like, why does she have to be so, like, I don't know. And is nasty the right word to use? Maybe nasty isn't the right word to use. Maybe it's more dismissive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she dismissed him. Like, Alex said, listen, if she wasn't feeling him because she was obliging his interests, then she wasted his time, because there were other women that were interested in him, but because he was so focused on her, he did not have the opportunity to meet with them. And that's a fact. She did him a disservice, and it was selfish and it was unfair, because she instantly jumped on the Edwin train. Y'all listen, I ain't like it. I didn't like it. It made me feel a kind of way. Like, if we don't like somebody, ladies, like I told my girlfriend earlier, you don't even like him. You just bored. You just doing stuff. So if that's the case, leave him alone and allow him the opportunity to meet someone else in this group that may like him, that may want to spend time with him, that may want to get to know him, that may want exactly what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and he had said that they had been having deep conversations, and now it's not the same. I also thought in my mind they couldn't have been too deep, because y'all never talked about finances. The two at the bottom is Brian and Chris, and one of them has to go. So Joy is talking to Chris, mainly because that's her friend, and Denise, why do they keep using Denise to talk to these fellas? But she talks to Brian. And when she talks to Brian, she says, you know what, I don't want to miss no words. Let me get straight to it. After the stuff with Alicia and all of that, the ladies are feeling like we can't trust you and we need to be able to trust you. And right now we don't, like your actions aren't lining up. But I wrote down that she is very abrasive with everyone but Kelfani and Anthony, okay? Because she's very in her home girl, like if you get crunk, I'm gonna get crunk too attitude right now. That part of Denise is very prevalent when she's having to tell someone goodbye. But he said, you know, she said, lucky for you, we want you to say, but we want you to work on these things, right? So while Joy is speaking to Chris, she said, you know, I didn't want Naya to tell you. I didn't want Naya to come and talk to you because it would have been a different conversation. And because you're my friend, you don't deserve that. And I was like, good, Joy. Because Naya would have been harsh and cold and abrasive, borderline rude, almost disrespectful when she delivered the message. He wasn't ready to love. Right? And she mentioned that other people were interested, but they couldn't connect with you because you were into Naya. Listen, ladies, fellas, listen. Prime example about putting our eggs in one basket. This is it. This is the example. You put all your eggs in this one basket. You drop the basket. The eggs are cracked. None of them are saved. No one else has a connection with you, and no one else wants to at this particular time because they've figured things out with other people. It's the thing. Date more than one person. Men do it all the time, and we should too. Chris, you can see it stung a little bit for him. You know, he was like, so I have to go home and process this. It hurt a little bit. Like, she was in his head. She was the one for him. Like, he's like, so when I get back, I'm not going to jump right into love. I'm going to try and heal a little bit before I go forward. Y'all, let me know what you think about this entire episode. How wrong was Naya? Was her delivery wrong, or was she just wrong for leading that man on like that? Is Brian's days numbered? Because the only connection he has is with Alex, and Alex's friend said she's not really all in. Like, and she needs to figure it out. And it kind of looks like in the next episode they're having the talk. You also see like some switch up, honey. Simone was like, you're not gonna leave me out. Edwin is a very sexy man to these ladies, okay? Though he rambles and talks a little bit too much, he is something to look at, and he definitely has some substance. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my long-ass review of Ready to Love Season 3, Episode number 6. If it's your first time visiting my channel, second, third time visiting my channel, click the subscribe button. Yes, become a ray of sunshine. Also click the notification bell so you can be alerted of when I upload videos. Last but not least, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your people, because you know they need to see it. They want to watch it too. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.